Really need to be praying for New York City right about now. If you guys have any family members on the East Coast, if you have any family members who live in New York specifically, you really need to be covering them in prayer, because I'm telling you right now, there is something coming to the East Coast. And I prophesied this at the end of 2023, literally like New Year's Eve. I had this dream about the Euphrates sweeping over the East Coast, right? There was going to be some type of attack, some type of something going on the East Coast. Judgment was coming to the East Coast, and there's going to be some really crazy things happening there, and you guys really need to be praying for them. I had another dream about the East Coast, specifically New York City this time, and in this dream I was traveling with a friend, and we ended up in New York, and we ended up in some type of diner, and as we were sitting in the diner, you know, having a conversation, I began to see water come up through the floorboards, like flooding, like, but it was like a scary type of Titanic looking type of flood. Like the water basically like exploded from the bottom, then it began to like explode from the walls. Like it was like entire city was getting ready to be up underwater. And so me and my friend, we left, and before I knew it, me and him were swinging through skyscrapers. Like it was like we had some type of rope and we were swinging through, and we were looking down at everything that was happening. And I remember having live footage of everything that was going on in New York City as we were trying to escape. And we saw a lot of people die. We saw a lot of buildings go underwater. We saw a lot of like crazy stuff, okay? And we got it on camera. And so we ended up escaping New York City, and we got somewhere else, and we were kind of wet escaping that place. And when we sat down at this next diner, we ended up in another diner. The waitress came to take our order, and we told her where we had just came from, and she was like, oh my gosh, don't tell me anything about what's going on. I saw it on the news. She's like, it's so tragic, it's so sad. She's like, all those people. She's like, I don't even want to hear about it. I can't even believe what's happening right now. What happened in New York in my dream was so bad that the waitress couldn't even fathom. She didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to see it. She didn't want to accept the reality of it because it was that bad. And so I woke up from that dream, and at some point the East Coast is going to be actually underwater. But I do believe that water represents judgment, especially when it comes in the form of destruction. Whenever the Lord shows me water sweeping over something, that means judgment is coming. So judgment is coming to the East Coast, specifically New York City, and there's going to be some really, really crazy things happening. So if you are in New York, you need to be vigilant. You need to always be paying attention.